Starting off, hello, it's 6 o'clock, and welcome everybody to episode 67 of Community Service Hour, featuring Ben from Kazm, the Web3 community relationship management tool. So, Ben, let's start with you. So, where are you coming in from?
Hey everyone, I'm Ben. I'm the founder and CEO of Kazm. I'm currently in Denver, but I'm typically based out of New York. And Kazm enables data-driven community building powered by Web3.
Oh, that's the headline and the subtitle. But what is that? What does that mean? Everything's data-driven community building for Web3.
Yeah, well, we work with brands and Web3 projects to help them recognize, engage, and reward their member activity everywhere. So that means we plug into every community touchpoint. That could be Web2 socials like Twitter and Discord, on-chain activity like smart contracts. We even have APIs for if you have like a first-party app or a game and you want to send us events that are happening in your game that don't happen on-chain. We help bundle that all up into unified member profiles with unified data for every member. And then we make that useful. So we make it easy to drive community automations, for example, triggering certain activities when someone buys or sells an NFT. Or we help show you attribution. So which campaigns are driving the right kind of growth or the conversion events that you're trying to optimize.
So it's based on a person. And this person is going to have connections with social, with web, with some API, on-chain, all these different places. These people, are they logging in with Twitter on your website?
Yeah, not necessarily on our website, but they're logging with Twitter somewhere. So we have little widgets that you can use on your own website or within your own app that ask your members to hook up their different accounts for you. They're willingly sharing that with the community. So a member will say, I'm this person on Twitter, I'm this person on Discord, this is my wallet that I'm using for this community, and that will all get bundled up into one profile within our CRM.
Let's say, so I'm full decent on Twitter. And so I'm not using Kazm, but I'm using one of your client's properties that is working with Kazm. So I go on that website and it says, hey, would you like to something? And I'm like, yeah, I wanted something. And it says, cool, why don't you do something on Twitter? And I say, okay. And then I confirm to that website that my name is full decent. How much of this becomes public?
None of it becomes public. You're just sharing it with the community.
Which community?
Whatever community you're filling this out for. So if it's a Web3 game that's using our widgets to ask you to share your information with them, you're sharing it with that game. If it's an NFT collection, you're sharing it with the admin of that NFT collection.
Got it. So I'm sharing it with that digital property. Let's say it's a game. So inside that game knows that I'm full decent on Twitter. But if I load something else that happens to be using Kazm, that thing won't know that I'm full decent on Twitter.
Yeah, that's correct. We do not share this data across communities. You're only sharing it with the community that you are knowingly sharing it with.
That's the connection part.
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen another one like this where it was popular for like giveaways where it was a really tight grab screen where it wanted you to log into Twitter and make 5 tweets, do this on Instagram, and it was like 20 things you had to do, and you got 20 points, and then you would retire off of this airdrop. And this was not actually always done on Web3. It was kind of a Web2 thing, but Web3 products like it because they really need those tweets.
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, this is very much a Web2 problem that we're just kind of realizing as we move into Web3, right? Web3 actually solves this problem once we're fully Web3. You have your wallet and you have a token that designates your relationship with the community, and you can log into a million different apps and a bunch of different social platforms or anything that's token enabled, and it should recognize you for who you are and know all of your relationships that are stored on chain within that platform.
And we've only talked about the left side here. We've only talked about getting data in. What are the types of tweets or other interactions that you are helping these people collate?
But yeah, basically, I mean, anything across the different platforms that we plug into, right? So you can encourage your community to go retweet you on Twitter or to post a tweet. And that's something we'll automatically capture, and we can give that person points for doing so. We can track on-chain activity and do the same thing there. So you can see, Full Descent retweeted us this many times in the last month, and they've been active this many days in Discord, and they hold this many NFTs. What we're actually rolling out in the next couple of weeks here is on-chain membership NFTs that will bump you up and down tiers on-chain based on that kind of activity that your community is incentivizing, that they're giving you points for being active within the community.
Okay, now we're connecting to the right side. So that's something that you're doing that's more Web3. Because everything up into that sentence is things that we've seen before, and it's just viral marketing. I don't know if that's the right word, because that's what they're trying to encourage. Okay, so now we've got badges you're talking about. So who pays for those gas fees?
The community does.
Which the community, your customer.
That's right.
So you're saying community. So we have Kazm, community, and community members, basically.
Perfect.
So the community is going to pay some gas fees. Are they going to perform these transactions, or you're doing it with their permission?
You mean, are they performing the actions of, for example, bumping someone up and down a membership tier or giving
Yes.
someone like a membership NFT?
Yep, bumping tiers.
Yeah, I mean, they can do it directly or we do it on their behalf based on no code rules that they create in our interface. So they can say, for example, retweeting us is 5 points and holding one of these NFTs is 100 points. And if you hit this level in my game, that's, 20 points. If you hit 500 points, you're a silver tier member. If you hit 1,000 points, you're a gold tier member. And we will automatically bump members up and down those different tiers on chain, which then can control access to everything else through token gating and through whatever you want to do with those membership NFTs.
Right. So the way that I'm hearing it is that basically the community is the one who has full access to assign any person to any tier. However, your platform, through some analysis and data collection, is telling them which tier everybody should be in. But you're not in any way enforcing, or you're not encoding that people can only be in certain tiers.
No, we're actually automatically enforcing those rules. So if you're the community, you can create these no-code rules, like I was just mentioning, like this many points for these different actions. We automatically count up people's points based on all the different identities they have tied together in our platform.
Yep.
And then we update their membership NFT accordingly.
Oh, but the gas fee is going to be paid by the community.
By the community. That's right.
However, the rules are enforced by you.
Yeah, that's right. They're enforced by us.
Got it. So you're going to be signing something digitally that says this number of tweets have been activated. And then they're going to have this signed attestation from you, which they're going to pay gas to broadcast on the blockchain. And with your good attestation and their gas fee, then it will be known by the world that Full Decent has achieved 5 points on Twitter through this community.
Not exactly. We don't put that level of detail on chain for, mostly for privacy reasons, but we will count that up off chain. So we'll count up, Full Decent just made 5 points on Twitter, and we know that. And then we bump up the membership tiers on chain based on that data. But like on chain, you won't be able to see why you moved up or down a membership tier. That stays private.
But the fact that they're moving up a tier has to be based on a number of points.
That's right.
But only you can verify that those points have been done.
That's correct.
Which means you need to sign something cryptographically to attest to that.
I mean, not really. These are soul-bound NFTs that we have the ability to update over time. Yes, we need to create a transaction when, you cross the point threshold to move from silver to gold tier, or from gold, back down to the base tier. But we're not, signing anything specifically on chain as to, what actions triggered that bump up or down.
Okay, so because we're using off-chain metadata, you can put anything you want in that, except if you want to switch to a different NFT color or from silver to gold, that's something you do need to do, and that they're going to pay gas
that's
for.
Right.
Got it. So the only time they're paying gas is switching from silver to gold, platinum, and then all the other things done off-chain because it's metadata.
Yes, exactly.
Good, Dan?
Yeah, no, that's clear to me.
Okay, this makes sense. You're doing the role of making a rules-based system, validating incoming information, and then, of course, making a dashboard and no-code solution here that's fun enough that people are going to want to use it for their communities to track and encourage different types of behavior. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm curious to hear, do you have any beta users of the tiering reputation system yet?
So that's actually something we just launched literally today, and we'll be launching the first experiment with that this week. Until now, we've just kind of been tracking all that data and making it available for the community to do things with. So like you can see, for months now, you can see on our leaderboard who has how many points for which activities, or who's retweeted this many times or whatever. Now is the first time that we're actually automatically enforcing these membership tiers and doing something on chain with that data automatically on behalf of our clients. Until now, they've had to do those airdrops themselves.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful for what Kazm can offer. There are a lot of membership token, management companies that do everything on chain, but they don't have the CRM behind it. And I imagine a lot of the information that's going to be important for updating the NFT is just going to naturally come from data that you already have from the CRM part of the business. It's a really cool extension of the product.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. We think so too. When we were coming up with this, what we were really thinking about was how can we help move the next billion people on chain, right? Like, how can we help bring these brands and these creators who already have their membership touch points in Web 2 somewhere, who already have these programs existing in some form somewhere? How can we help them move on chain, ideally without some big migration, and ideally without, necessarily selling NFTs if that's not something that they want to be doing anyway?
It makes a lot of sense. I've been involved in NFT drops and Web3 projects, and the better projects, the one who are going to sell out, the ones that are successful, they spend a lot of time in the CRM, and that's how I can tell right away if they're going to be successful or not. Like I say, let me see your Google Sheet. How many tabs do you have? You can tell because they'll have a list of addresses, like potential customers, and then they'll be stalking them on Twitter. Then they'll track other things that they've done on Twitter. They'll cross-reference them versus other things that they've done. Maybe they're in a Discord, very popular. And you can't just be like, I'm going to get everybody in my Discord and sell them. You can't do that because not everybody wants to do your Discord. When you're just doing sales, you got to include everybody who wants to buy. And I've been on projects where you just hire somebody to update the spreadsheet. That's literally a job. Thousands of rows. You can't just be like, hey, our product's available for sale. You got to be like, no. Hey, remember I was talking to you last week about your trip to somewhere in Europe? Well, this specific NFT in this collection that's coming out, I think this one's going to speak to you specifically, giving you heads up that it's dropping next week. That's a DM that sells something.
Right.
Exactly. So that's something that our clients have been using us for quite some time now, where, we plug into all these different platforms. We can show you things like which of your community members is tweeting about you, not just the most frequently, but is tweeting about you and getting the most reach and is actually getting people to engage with tweets about you. And then we have the ability for your community managers to leave notes on any community member. How do you keep track of community members? How do you see who's doing what and who's driving what value to the community? And how can you kind of like build up this relationship with community members in a way that scales?
What Will just described in like that DM tweet is probably something that can be automated now with LLMs, personalized and interesting to them in a DM.
I'm still selling a specific use case. So bringing people into a project. What if this is just private note-taking by yourself? Or do you allow people to just add community members without them being involved?
Yeah, you can track, for example, wallets through our CRM without them being involved. You can track Twitter handles without them being involved. Obviously, if you want, someone's Discord data or anything that's private that they would need to share with you, you need their permission to do that. But yeah, public data sources, you can track whatever you want, and we definitely enable that.
So can I pull in like a Twitter and a wallet address and combine them?
Yeah, if you already have that knowledge that that Twitter handle is that wallet, you can totally import that. And we let you import that in bulk if you have a CSV, which a lot of our clients do, right? A lot of our clients have run Gleam campaigns or pre-mint campaigns before we were around, and they just have a CSV of this is the person on Discord, this is them on Twitter, this is their wallet. You can just import that and link up as many identities as you want.
I feel like another potential thing that Kazm could offer to customers is a feed. If you have all this knowledge about what all the community members are doing across platforms, not that anyone needs another feed in their life. For really close-knit communities, maybe it'd be interesting to see what people are doing on social media and on chain.
Yeah, so that is something that we support today. So we have like a content
Already?
section in the app where we're pulling in messages from Discord and Twitter and anything else that you have plugged in. And we'll basically show you, over the last 7 days, these are the member messages about your community that have gotten the most traction. Or these are the Discord messages that have gotten the most engagement. And you can, segment and filter that across different parts of your member population.
I got a last feature request for you. Just something else that I've seen done is you're launching a new NFT. You're trying to start your marketing machine. And what you do is you do lookalikes. So you find another NFT or the list.
So we can do a little bit better than that. And this is something we have done for clients as like a one-off analysis. But we've built a big machine learning model of every single address on chain, including smart contracts and wallets. And one thing we can do is like, let's say you started selling an NFT, you have 500 community members, right? But you want to grow that to like 10,000. What we can do is we can say, okay, here's your 500 members. Here are the 10,000 wallets that look the most like your 500 wallets. Yeah. And we're not doing this based on just like, okay, they're in a couple of the same communities. We've actually modeled out everything they've done on chain. Every one of those wallets is done on chain. And we create this big nearest neighbors model. And we say, here are the 10,000 wallets that are kind of the best target audience for what you're doing. Yeah. And we can help you target them.
Yeah, because you can look up ENS, you can get their Twitter without asking them. It's already there.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. One way that we often recommend our clients do it is, let's say you've identified those 10,000 wallets. Now it's like, yeah, you could try to go find Twitter handles or something to reach out to them directly there. Or you can just look at, okay, where do all these people hang out? Like what communities are they already a part of? And now go partner with those Discord communities and do some partnership there. And you know you're kind of talking to the right audience.
One last question for me. Then you're in a competitive space. Like there's a kind of a big pot of gold for people who can solve these, for companies that can solve these issues for Web3 companies and others. What do you think is going to, over time, keep Kazm separated from the crowd of, all the other companies that are trying to do Web3 CRM?
One is, I do think we're pretty unique in terms of exactly what we offer, in that like we really integrate with all your different community touch points. I think we're probably the best solution for like community engagement generally, like having these unified profiles for your members and helping encourage them to do different things. And especially now with our loyalty offering, I think we're really streamlining that, right? By making these automated rules that will reward your community members for doing different things. And I'd also back up and just say, I don't think that pot of gold is actually that big right now, right? The whole Web3 market today is actually not that big. And I really think what we should all be thinking about is, and certainly what we're thinking about, is how we can bring in the next billion users, right? How can we get the big brands start realizing how powerful it is to have this shared database that is blockchain instead of their centralized databases for their members? How can we get people to start tapping into the interoperability of Web3? And that's kind of what we're trying to think about, and what I do see a lot of our competitors also thinking about. And I think we'll probably all end up in slightly different spaces because there's just so much room to innovate here.